Hi, I'm Alan Redinger. I've been cooking in private homes for, well, since I was a kid, really. But as a professional cook for about 30 years. I worked in a few restaurants, didn't like it very much. Noisy, dirty, kind of ruins you for eating out. And now what I really want to do is I want to help everyone to feel comfortable cooking and eating at home. That's where all the best food will always be. I once worked for a client who was from Egypt. He was a businessman who had moved to America, and he really missed the food of his youth. And there were no Egyptian restaurants. He couldn't find an Egyptian cook, and he had me on for about a week. And I did some research because I knew he was from Egypt, so I thought I would learn a little bit about his food. And I thought I would just make some Middle Eastern dishes, but it turns out that Egypt has its own cuisine. One of the things that his secretary warned me was that he did not like garlic. He hated garlic. And I was reading the recipes, and they almost all had garlic in them. So what I decided to do was just when he was out or when he was in his office, that's when I would do the frying of the garlic or anything that would be redolent. I would do that when he wasn't there. And then he loved the food. Didn't even know what was in it. I think you'll really like this dish. It's called Egyptian eggplant. This is really a simple dish. There are only 8 ingredients. We have 2 eggplants, 4 cloves of garlic, a half teaspoon of sea salt, a tablespoon of sesame seeds, a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, a tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. The equipment you'll need is also very simple. You just need some measuring spoons, a 1/4 cup measuring cup, a large spoon, some tongs, a long knife and a short knife, and a mortar. If you don't have a mortar, you can use a garlic press, and I'll show you how. First, preheat the grill until it's very hot. Once the grill is hot, place the eggplants on it. Cook for 15 to 20 minutes until cooked through and lightly charred. While the eggplants are cooking, you can get ahead by preparing the sauce. After washing the parsley, you're going to want to squeeze all the water out so you don't get a really mushy result. You want a nice chopped dry parsley. Use a paper towel to just gently squeeze any last bit of remaining water that's on the parsley. Then gather it up in a little ball and begin chopping, feeding it to the blade. Begin by chopping the garlic into small pieces. Then place them in the mortar. Add the salt and start pounding. Keep going until it's a smooth paste. Add the sesame seeds and grind them just a little bit. Then add the olive oil and the lemon juice and the parsley and the ground pepper. Mix it together and it's done. Now I love using a mortar. It's like using something that goes back to the very beginning of cooking. It's something that hasn't changed in thousands and thousands of years. Mine is a stone mortar and it makes a sound like a Neolithic musical instrument. There's a wonderful sound, but it has a practical use. When you mix the garlic with the salt will break down the cell walls, and as you pound it, you'll get a nice smooth, silky mixture. It's wonderful. If you don't have a mortar, like most people don't worry about it. Just use the garlic press, which will break the garlic into little pieces, and then mix it with the salt, add the other ingredients. It'll be virtually the same. The taste will be exactly the same. The only thing that'll be different is you won't get that silky texture, but no one will ever know, except maybe that Egyptian gentleman I mentioned. All you have to do is put the garlic in the press, squeeze, then add the salt, and if you want, you can mash it a little bit, like this. That will mash it up. Then add the sesame seeds. Mash them a little bit. Add the olive oil and the lemon juice and the parsley. A few grindings of the black pepper. And you're done. So as you can see, This one is more like a sauce. It's a little bit silky and smooth. And this one, which we did without the mortar, will taste exactly the same, but it doesn't have that silky quality. Looks like the eggplants are done. So we're going to transfer them to the cutting board. Trim away the stem end. Then cut them in half lengthwise. Scoop the pulp out and put it in the bowl. Now don't be concerned if a little of the skin gets in there. That actually gives it a nice flavor. You don't want too much, but a little is going to give it a nice taste. Okay. Chop and mash the eggplant with the back of the spoon. Add the garlic sauce and stir it all together. To serve it, scoop it into a bowl, put it on a plate, and surround it with crackers or pita bread, or even if you want some cucumber sticks.